I'm Tom Thompson from Strange Brew Podcast, and since a young age, I've been fascinated by the creepier and dark sides of life. At a young age, I was interested by horror movies and, the universal monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula. I used to draw pictures of all these ghoulish creatures. And as I got older, I started to question everything around me, from the government to what reality really is to how physical this reality may actually be. Because there is much proof to prove that this reality isn't as real, or at least as physically dense as we think it is. There's been many investigations into the paranormal. Before I ever was interested by conspiracy theories or cryptids or cryptozoology or true crime, my first love was the paranormal. I was always interested by what lies beyond this physical reality and what lies beyond death after our soul leaves our body, because in my opinion there's definitely enough proof to prove that your soul does your body is a vessel, a container for your soul to be housed in, and nobody really knows where we go when we die. So I've always been puzzled by that question. I've had my own weird experiences that you might hear throughout this documentary, about my experience with the Ouija board, which when I was about 11 or 12 years old, my grandma gave me a Ouija board. Me and my friends would gather around, put our hands on the planchette, and we would call upon people like Harold Houdini or even Tupac. Who knows if he's actually alive or dead, but we used to call upon these figures that we knew were dead, these famous people. And we've had weird experiences, from candles being blown out, arms being scratched, sometimes even a little bit of voices, but we were maybe scaring each other. And I kind of went down that path of trying to figure out what was beyond this world. And people can say the Ouija boards don't work, or people might be pushing the planchette, or it might be your subconscious. But I have seen enough proof in my life to know that there is something beyond this world. If in this doc you might hear me talk about my experience with shadow people, which was probably one of the most frightening things that I've ever experienced when it comes to the paranormal. And I think there's a lot of proof that goes into the fact that the paranormal does exist all around us, and that we can pick up on energies. Animals do the same thing. So as I grew up, and I was messing around with these occult practices, you could say, and trying to reach the other side, which is not always a good idea. And this spiritual movement, way back in the late 1900s, and when it kind of ramped up because people were being sent to war, to the Civil War specifically, and that's what kind of ramped up this whole spiritual movement. And yes, there was many fakes and frauds, and ectoplasm and stuff like that was actually fake to convey this idea that there is something that was beyond. But these people were frauds and charlatans. There is a lot of proof that goes into the idea that there is something that exists beyond our reality, and you should always be careful. As a kid, I wasn't careful. We had a certain summoning practice. I actually was shown for the first time how to use a Ouija board by an older friend, who he told me that you can write it down on a piece of paper and take a shot glass, and put your hands over it. And my own mother has had her own weird experiences. She had a friend that committed suicide, and she saw his spirit, went to turn off a light, and so I'm standing right there, like I'm standing right in front of this camera, like as real as I look today. And they used the Ouija board that my grandma actually gave me. And one, they asked her friend, his name was Terry, why he committed suicide. The shot glass that they were using for the conduit to put their fingers on got launched across the room and shattered. So especially when you have entities or spirits that get invoked, and especially when it's something that, the emotional resonancy of that, it's just the same way as when you go to like a battlefield and you hear gunshots. That's like a residual haunting. So it's like an imprint in time of emotion. And that's why a lot of people, there's quite a big difference from an intelligent haunting like a poltergeist than there is to a residual haunting, where your house might be haunted by some sort of emotional impact from some sort of war or trauma, because trauma gets cemented in this physical reality somehow that we don't really understand. and it's quite fascinating. And you will see soon us seeing if we can summon any ghosts, or I don't think demons is a great idea, but we don't know what is really going to happen. But we're going to attempt to use the Ouija board in this documentary and just see what happens. But I do think that people should be very careful about using this type of stuff, and especially going into these occult practices, because it can really harm your life, and I think curse you, and you can literally curse other people with intention, and that's all to do with magic with a K and all these people. But the spiritual movement has grown since the 1800s and will consistently still grow, and that's why things like Ghost Adventures, amongst many other shows, have been so popular, is because people are still fascinated and interested by the fact that there's something outside of our eyesight that nobody can explain. And I do believe that your soul, your body is meant to house your soul, and that everyone will realize one day what's beyond this reality, but no one will be able to come back and tell us. They can attempt to on the Ouija board, but you don't necessarily know if you're getting the truth out of these entities you're talking to. And that's what I learned, is that I don't think half the spirits that we were talking to were who they said they were. So stay strange. Again, I'm Tom Thompson from Strange Brew Podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Billy, and we're going to attempt to summon something in this graveyard, call upon some spirits. We actually have the Ouija board ready to go, and the planchette, and even a candle, just to make the ambience.
Oh, we got a candle too.
That's
nice. Thanks.
So, I wanted to say that just because we are in a graveyard does not necessarily mean that there will be spirits here. Most likely, there might be things around this area, but in most times...
But these are bodies, though. Shouldn't there be spirits?
But usually, if you're a spirit and you're something, if you've died and stuck in this reality in some sort of purgatory,
like,
you would most likely...
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Yeah. But you would most likely go to a place that you felt comfortable in this existence. So if they are stuck in this reality in some way and haven't crossed over to another dimension or reality, you would most likely go where you would feel at home. And that's why there's usually like haunted buildings, and then there's like residual hauntings, as I kind of said last time, of like a battlefield where guns are going off, and there's something that's there's so much trauma permeated into a place that you would hear like sounds and noises and stuff like that. Billy's been asking to do the Ouija board for a long time.
I want to do the Ouija board.
We will see where this goes. Okay.
I'm excited. Are we gonna do it on that one? That looks like a nice big one right there.
You can show this.
That looks like a nice big one right there.
His name is William.
No, this one's Boston Jock.
Oh, we're gonna Pap.
Boston Jock.
Let's
that one.
Yeah, the one behind it. Boston Jock.
Okay, let's try. Yeah.
Boston Jock it is.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna light Billy's cock on fire.
This cock is on fire.
All right, everybody. Let's attempt to do this and see what happens.
I'm upside down, so I can't even spell anything. You gotta read it out to me.
This is not a good way to do it. We gotta fucking...
Are we supposed to be side by side? Like side by side dogs?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna try...
How do we do this? I don't know how this works.
So I'm gonna try to remember my chant, and you're gonna put your fingers lightly onto the planchette, or the pointer, and essentially we're gonna see if we can go around. And I've had these Ouija boards and this planchette for so long. I literally put what's this called? Where they put it on the couch, the couches.
Couch cushions.
Yeah, on the to make sure it doesn't, so it slides better. So I'm gonna try to remember the chant as best I can from when I was a kid.
Seems like we need it word for word, don't we?
Yeah.
It needs to kind of be forbidden.
I have
doesn't it.
I have it almost to a T. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Maybe they say you fucked up. All right. Just very lightly, eh?
Okay. Yes. Very lightly. Air, fire, water, earth, elements of the astral birth, I call upon any spirits around, attend to me now. Only good may leave, only good may come, to the power of 3 times 3. Something like that.
It's because you said something like that.
Is there anybody here? If you fucking push it, I swear to God.
I swear to God, I'm not.
Is anything here? Trying to watch your fingers to see if you're pushing it. No,
I swear to God, I'm not.
Is anything here? It's been a long time since I've used this shit. Are you gonna H? All right, I saw you push that a little. All right, anything here? Let's do the technique.
You guys are lame. Talk.
As I said, there might not be anything here. Let's circle around. So we're gonna kind of like let it, like kind of like do this kind of thing. Right?
Okay.
Let's just see.
You do a little
kind of circle motions.
It's like
get it going.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, wax
right.
on, wax off. Okay. All right. Let's. Is anybody here? Is there anybody around this area that would like to speak with us?
Is it my fault?
Is that? Are you pushing it? Don't fucking push it, man. Calm down.
I'm sorry.
Is anybody here? Is there anybody here? D? E? F? Are you deaf? Okay, I got try to rest your hand lightly.
I am.
Okay.
My hand's light.
Okay. Is anybody here?
Do we need a new chant?
Is anybody here? If you're not pushing it, it is moving. It's just taking its sweet ass time.
Are you moving that?
I'm not.
I'm not touching it. I barely have my fingers on it.
Is that yes?
Is that yes?
It's pointing.
Are you deaf? Can you hear us?
Maybe they just think they're too cool for us.
What's your name? What's your name?
Are you illiterate?
What's your name?
Can ghosts be illiterate? Maybe he
He's
doesn't
a
know how to
pioneer.
spell.
Graveyard. I'll try this hand. We can try it one more time, and then we can move locations and try somewhere else.
All right, we'll move locations.
Okay.
Try somewhere else.
Goodbye, in case. Goodbye. Goodbye, just in case.
Goodbye, just in case. All right,
right.
I'm curious now. Ask who my orb is. I want to know who's looking after me.
Okay, air, fire, water. Don't tilt.
I didn't mean to.
Air, fire, water, earth, elements of the astral birth. Again, let's say this. We call upon any spirit and now attend to me. Only good may enter, only good may leave to the power of 3 times 3. Is anybody there? Is there any spirits around us?
Who's my orb guy or girl?
Or they?
Who's my orb lady?
It's there.
What the fuck is moving? Is that not? That's you're not doing that.
I
right?
swear to God, I'm not doing anything.
Billy, it's there.
It's there again. Are you serious?
I promise you.
There's no bugs
I
around
promise you, it's right in between you guys.
What the fuck? H-E-L. I'm getting shivers. L.
It's at Billy now.
I'm getting fucking chills actually. E. Are you spelling Helen? My aunt's name is Helen, and she died of cancer a long time ago.
It's my mom's name.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She's still alive though.
D.
Did you really take that long to talk? Are you trying to remember how to spell it? Maybe it's a different language.
I. Oh, that's great. It said die.
That's cool.
Are you referring to the Necro album, or are you talking about you want us to die?
Well, I think this is goodbye. Goodbye, please.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Are you getting creeped out?
Oh, we're not getting answers
I
anymore.
know.
They
More
fucked
time
up.
to attempt this. Like I said, just because we're in a
Well,
graveyard.
say the chant. Stop
does not-
having doubt. Just say the chant.
not
Say
mean-
say
yes.
the chant. Say it with some beef.
It would be more likely that it would be in a
Just say the chant.
household.
Say it.
Alright.
Say it with some beef. Let's go.
Air, fire, water, earth, elements of the astral birth, I call upon any spirits now, attend to me. Only good may enter, only good may leave, to the power of 3 times 3. Is there any spirits that would like to talk with us?
Can we get rid of the good part and just get the bad ones too?
Is there any spirits that would
He doesn't
like
want it.
to talk with us?
There's an orb.
Fucking weird.
Again, eh?
Being followed by some sort of orb. Is there anybody there?
Talk to us.
Would you like to
Talk to me, please.
It's by Billy.
Talk to me. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me how you're feeling. What can I do for you? I want to help.
Is there any spirits around us?
I don't like how the last one told me to die, though.
Yeah, that's fucked. It's not that weird. It's like rotating.
Yeah, the whole board's...
And I'm not doing that. Are you doing that at all?
No,
It's
dude,
fucking
look at my
weird.
fingers. My fingers are barely touching this thing.
That's fucking weird. You know, yeah, it's literally like going in a fucking whoa. Goodbye. If you don't want to talk, that's fucking creepy. I don't like how it flipped
Did
the
it just
board.
say goodbye?
Yeah. It went towards goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. You gotta go like this close with the candle like this.
Yeah.
Come here, right beside me, and then
Okay.
tell your speech.
So we
No,
attempted.
closer. Closer.
So we attempted to use the Ouija board in the graveyard, obviously with some success, but not exactly what we wanted. It was obviously, we can debunk it and say, oh, it was the candlelight reflecting off the camera somehow, but we don't entirely know if that's for sure. But I've caught tons of orbs in my life.
you got a little skepticism
I
there.
try
That's
to
cute. That's
try
cool.
to, because I try to weed out if it's real or not, right? But the idea that we might attempt to do this outside of this documentary, or later on in life, or something else where we actually film inside of a house or an abandoned building or a haunted house, because I'm going to start looking at locations and stuff that we can go to that may be haunted. We talk about maybe the Lucan house, where the Black Donnelly family stayed, which we covered on the podcast. So there's options later on for us to maybe try to attempt this again in a place that is actually haunted. Now, what's that thing they used to say in Afraid of the Dark?
It's time for. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to that. Good night, guys. Cheers.
So we just got back from attempting to use the Ouija board in a graveyard. Not exactly how we hoped. We got some responses, but we probably will attempt to do something like this again. I definitely do think that I debunked the orb, because it was probably a reflection of the candle on the camera. You can clearly see that. Obviously in that moment we're excited and stuff like that, but make sure to tune into the podcast, check everything out. We might be doing this more often, so keep an eye open, especially as the weather gets warmer and we have more access to different ruin sites or haunted buildings or abandoned buildings and other maybe spooky graveyards or places. So and make sure to check that out and stay strange.